In the next section, we're going to consider the vertical line test. So visually, a graph of a relation between two variables, just assume we call them x and y, is going to be a function if it can pass this vertical line test. So in this test, if a vertical line intersects the graph in more than one location, then the relation is not a line, or is not a function. If all possible vertical lines intersect the graph in one point at most, it might not depending on the domain, then the relation is a function. So let's go back, change that wording there. Okay. So for example, in this first graph, no matter where I draw a vertical line, so that would be top to bottom, I can only intersect the graph in one spot at a time. So figure 1, this graph, actually is a function. In the second graph, again, no matter what vertical line I would draw, straight up and down, I can only intersect the graph in one point. So as a result, this also would be considered a function. Now, we could act like we're inserting a straight line, and notice no matter where I want to insert that straight line, I'm going to end up having only one point of intersection in the graph. So this would pass the vertical line test no matter where that line is. Now let's look at a couple of other graphs. Now in this graph, this is not a function. So if I go back and I insert a vertical line, what is it that we notice about the line? Well, it intersects the graph up here and down here. So as a result, it intersects the graph in two locations. So the purple and red lines, if they were considered the relation, then you would say that that is not a function because the vertical line test is failed. What about the bottom graph? So if we consider the yellow and the blue part as one graph, okay, now notice if I draw a vertical line in the negatives, the graph doesn't exist over there. So it doesn't intersect the relation at all. So let me insert a line there just to show you. If I do that, it doesn't intersect the graph at all. But if I come over and I draw a line this way, then it intersects again in two locations. One where the y value is positive, one where the y value is negative. As a result, this would not be a function. This is actually the square root function. If you look, if you take 4 and take the square root, you would get 2, or negative 2. So if I draw both the positive and negative answers out, I get this sort of looks like the nose of a jet plane or something. But what happens is it's not a function. That's why a lot of times when we define the square root, we say that it's just the positive square root function. So it's just the yellow part. So if I take the blue part out, then I would actually have a function because the vertical line test would be passed. But as is, writing both the positive and negative square roots, you end up not having a function. So this is the vertical line test.